Episode 113, Spontaneity Gone Wrong.
So, you want to hear about the hilarity of trying to be spontaneous? Well, strap yourselves in, because we're about to embark on a roller coaster ride of unplanned adventures. Let me start by saying that spontaneity is like a wild horse. You try to tame it, and it just gallops away, leaving you there with a confused look on your face. I once decided to be spontaneous and surprise my friend at her house. I thought, hey, what could go wrong? Well, turns out she had already planned a romantic dinner for two, and my unexpected appearance turned it into a crowded restaurant for three. Not exactly the surprise I had in mind. But it's not just surprise visits that can turn into comedic disasters. Have you ever tried to be spontaneous with your wardrobe? You wake up one morning, feeling like a fashion rebel, and you decide to throw together an outfit that screams, "I don't care." Well, let me tell you, when you're strutting down the street, feeling all confident in your mismatched socks and clashing patterns, you suddenly realize everyone else cares, a lot. People start whispering, pointing, and giving you those looks that say, "Did you dress in the dark?" And then there's the art of spontaneous travel. You see those movies where characters jump on a plane to some exotic destination without a care in the world? Yeah, well, in real life, spontaneous travel often involves missed flights, lost passports, and those dreaded moments when you end up in a shady hostel with questionable roommates. Trust me, I've been there. Spontaneity and travel are like a blind date. You hope for a magical connection, but sometimes it's just an awkward encounter with a language barrier. Now, I'm not saying spontaneity is all bad. It does have its moments of brilliance. Like that time when I decided to spontaneously adopt a puppy. It was love at first sight, and everything seemed perfect until I realized that puppies come with chewed shoes, unexpected vet bills, and the ability to turn your living room into a minefield of surprises. So, my spontaneous act of love quickly turned into a crash course in responsible pet ownership. But here's the thing, despite all the mishaps and unexpected twists, spontaneity is what adds spice to our lives. It keeps us on our toes, and it reminds us that sometimes the best moments happen when we least expect them. So, embrace the hilarity of trying to be spontaneous, because even when things go awry, those are the stories that make life worth living and laughing about. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed our little journey into the unpredictable world of spontaneity. Remember, laughter is the best response to life's unexpected surprises. You know, being spontaneous is like trying to catch a butterfly with a pair of chopsticks. It's elusive, it's unpredictable, and most of the time, you end up just looking silly. I recently decided to inject a little spontaneity into my life. I thought, hey, why not? Let's live on the edge, break free from routines, and embrace the unexpected. So, I woke up one morning and said to myself, today, I'm going to do something completely spontaneous. And you know what I did? I went back to bed. Turns out, even my spontaneity needs a little planning. But it's not just me, it's a universal struggle. We all have that one friend who claims to be the master of spontaneity. They're like, I'm the king of living in the moment. Spontaneity is my middle name. Yeah, right. More like spontaneity is my middle name. When it's on my Google Calendar. I remember this one time when my friends and I decided to be spontaneous and take a road trip. We hopped in the car, all excited, thinking we were going to have this amazing adventure. But what happened? We got lost within the first 5 minutes. GPS was like, recalculating. Recalculating. Are you sure you're not looking for the nearest grocery store? And then there's the issue of spontaneity in relationships. You know, when you're dating someone and you want to impress them by being spontaneous. So, you plan this surprise date night, and you're like, babe, get dressed, we're going on an adventure. And they're like, okay, where are we going? And you're like, I have no idea. Surprise. So, you end up driving around in circles, desperately searching for a restaurant that's not fully booked or a movie that hasn't started yet. And you're sweating buckets, trying to act all cool and mysterious, when in reality, you're just praying for a spontaneous meteor to strike and save you from this self-inflicted torture. But you know what? Maybe there's something beautiful about the hilarity of trying to be spontaneous. Life is like a sitcom, and spontaneity is the punchline. So, embrace it, laugh at it, and remember, even when your spontaneous plans go awry, at least you'll have a funny story to tell later. Thank you, folks. Remember, when life throws you a curveball, just duck and let it hit the person sitting behind you. Good night. So, I've been asked to talk about the hilarity of trying to be spontaneous. Now, let me just say, planning to be spontaneous is like scheduling a surprise party for yourself. It's a contradiction wrapped in confusion, sprinkled with a dash of irony. I've tried to be spontaneous, I really have. But it's harder than it looks. I once decided to throw caution to the wind and go on a spontaneous road trip. I hopped in my car, excited and full of anticipation. And then I realized I had no idea where to go. So, I took out my phone, opened Google Maps, and typed in random destination. Yeah, because nothing screams spontaneous like relying on technology to choose your adventure. But hey, I picked a place and started driving. About halfway there, my car ran out of gas. I didn't even think to check the fuel gauge because, I was being spontaneous. So there I was, stranded on the side of the road, waving at passing cars and hoping someone would help me out. It turns out, people aren't very keen on stopping for a guy who looks like he's auditioning for a role in a low-budget horror movie. Eventually, a kind soul pulled over and gave me a ride to the nearest gas station. But by the time I got there, my spontaneous road trip had turned into a quest for survival. So much for carefree adventures. But you know what's even funnier? When you try to be spontaneous with your friends. You gather everyone together, like, hey, let's do something crazy and unexpected. And then you spend the next 2 hours discussing what that crazy thing should be. It's like trying to organize chaos, herding cats, or teaching a goldfish to play fetch. It just doesn't work. And then, of course, there's the issue of spontaneity in relationships. You think surprising your partner with a spontaneous date night will earn you major brownie points. But instead of being impressed, they give you that look like you've just told them you've decided to become a professional juggler. Yeah, apparently, some people prefer stability and plans. Who knew? So, my friends, the hilarity of trying to be spontaneous lies in the fact that it often ends up being anything but. It's like trying to catch a butterfly with a fishing net or squeezing a watermelon into a jelly jar. It's an admirable pursuit, but it's bound to leave you feeling a little bit silly. In conclusion, if you want to be spontaneous, just embrace the irony and accept that life has a funny way of making even the best laid plans go awry. And if all else fails, remember that laughter is the best medicine, especially when your attempts at spontaneity turn into sitcom-worthy moments. Thank you, and remember, keep laughing and keep trying to be spontaneous, even if it means getting lost or running out of gas along the way.
And that wraps up another laughter-filled episode of Not So Funny A. If you enjoyed the jokes generated by our AI algorithms, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our comedy-loving community.